Hi everyone, welcome to the podcast P is for Plog. This is my kind of weekly thing. Let's be honest, it doesn't happen every week, but the idea is it's a weekly podcast that's talking about my life as a professional plogger. A plogger is someone that picks up trash while running. Yes, I'm trying to make a profession of it. You know all of this. Let's get on to this episode. This is season 2, episode 15. Didn't know what to call it. I sort of put out onto my stories on Instagram this morning saying, should I call it principles? P is for principles. P is for pleading. Pleading is a big part of this episode, whereas peers for public support. I didn't really know what to call it. In the end, I'm going to call it, because the subject is really talking about something I've been doing for the last couple of days, which is handing out flyers. But flyers is an F word. And if I say it appears for pliers, then it means something completely different. So instead, I'm going to shoehorn a P word in. P is for pamphlets. Let's get on with it. Plug it and tag it and post it and bin it. Plug it and tag it and post it and bin it. Right, let's start. Hopefully, you're going to hear my voice is more energetic. One of the things that's been really bugging me is I seem to be doing this podcast and it seems to be driving me to sleep. And I'm just not getting across my excitement, enthusiasm, and energy. So, what I've done is I've moved the microphone away a bit so I have to shout a little bit more. Hopefully, it comes across as being a little bit more enthusiastic that I normally am about this topic. It just seems that I was just talking softly into the microphone and driving myself to sleep. So hopefully we can get a little bit more enthusiastic. Right, let's get cracking. I really want to talk about all the pamphlets I'm sort of pushing out at the moment. All the pamphlets. I'll get used to using the P word. All the flyers that I've created. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to all the conversations, to all the people that I've had. I've had about 3 or 4 different conversations over the last few weeks with people, and especially last Sunday, loads of people gave up their time on a Sunday to talk to me and try and inspire me, give me ideas, and to help me make this work. It is so important that this works, not just for me and having a roof over my head, but I think we need it so much more than ever in our lives, ever in this world. A good example is I was on a I was in a meeting with a few people talking about World Cleanup Day the other day, and we were just making some plans. One of them was with a refuse company. I'm not going to mention who it is. It's pretty easy. It's the one here in Harlem, so you'll probably know who it is. Anyway, so they were talking and we were talking about doing cleanups for World Cleanup Day, how we can get companies involved, and they were just being honest and saying the engagement that we can get is so limited these days. It feels like companies have given up, or it feels like companies can't be bothered with it. They're making, in effect, it's become more and more the priority has been reduced so much now. So they are going to these companies saying, let's do a cleanup, let's organize something for the community, for the local area. And they're just saying, yeah, we pay taxes for you to clean up, you do it. And which I can understand, but it just seems like the climate we're in. And I don't want to get too political, but I have to because this is where we are today. You know, the policies that are coming from America are, with the reduction in funding for green energy, the striking the ban on plastic straws because they explode or whatever, or non-plastic straws explode or whatever that nonsense was. It feels like it's driving the world, and people are giving up. People are giving up because they just see horror and sadness in the news. Just go to a news site and count how many stories you have to go down in that list before you get a positive story. There are positive stories, but how many of those positive stories are protecting the future? How many positive stories? My whole purpose, or what I'm trying to do, is not about trash. It's about getting positive stories into the world that are making an impact on the future, but mean that we're having a positive story today. We're having enjoyment today. We're having pleasure today. That's what it's all about, and that's what I'm trying to get across, and that's what I'm struggling with in my flyers. I'm really having a tough time. I'm getting near that point where literally in a couple of weeks I am starting to get in trouble with
with people I have to pay bills to. It is as simple as that. And I need to be more honest. I've got to find that real balance. And that's one of the reasons why I sort of wasn't sure, do I do pleading, public support principles and things like that? Because it all relates to with what I want to do. My whole account is about positive stories, but I have to also get people to see that I'm struggling in doing that. I have to find a way that I can say, I can show people, let me carry on with this positive stories, but I need help now. I need help now. I'm not, personally, I'm not doing well. My mission, all positive stories, but behind the scenes, I'm struggling to make it work. I need to sort of try and get that across somehow. And I need to break a few principles. I need to plead more. I need more public support. That's what I'm going to have to be honest with. But let's talk about these flyers. Oh, no, actually, let's talk about why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because it feels like in Harlem, I mean, most of my time is my core business is about going out for a run, picking up trash, positive action, telling a positive story. And of course, it's most of it's going to be around here in Harlem. So I figure, or I hope that, okay, the best way of me to do that is to get support from local businesses. And I've put it on my website and things. €50, you get your name on my website. But more importantly, and I'll do like a story. Hey, I've got these on board. Yeah, I'm not going to do a full blown post because that's just way too little money for. It's just undervalues what I do. But I'll try and get as much attention as I can, whether it's in a story. But you definitely get your information on my website, and it means that you can go. We support him. We support this local guy that's running around like an idiot in a banana suit, picking up trash, trying to tell a positive story. And I figured it would be quite easy to go to companies and sort of win them over. I've made up 500 flyers. Now I haven't given out all of those, and a lot of it is due to it's holiday season as well. So trying to get the right people that can make that investment, that €50 investment that's tax deductible from a company, which is pretty pretty low really investment, is hard because of the holiday season and everything. But what I'm finding out here, and I'm sure that everyone can relate to with a small business here in the Netherlands or wherever they are, is when is the right moment? It feels like it's that sort of you know avocado moment. It for there's 52 years, 52 weeks in a year, and it feels like 40 weeks of that is when the avocado is just rock hard and not ripe. 11 weeks it's gone completely mushy and it's brown and everything. Is that 1 week in the year when it's just the perfect ripeness to eat? And trying to get that, if I go out now, people are on holiday. If I go out in September, people are just back from school, so they haven't got time. If I go a little bit later, oh, hang on, now it's winter month, Christmas is coming up, it's the end of the financial year. Oh, no, it's the beginning of the financial year. It's too late. You should have done it before the financial year started. Oh, it seems like there's never a right moment. So screw it. I'm just going out with the flyers and doing it. I just want to try and get the engagement on these companies. And I thought it would be a relatively simple win, especially €50. It doesn't cost much. But, and I've only done a few flyers, but I need to change. It feels like nothing's happening. I will be honest and say when I started this whole business thing, the whole purpose of my business plan was right, the way I'm going to do it is completely new. I want to get something new into that world that other people can replicate. It's going to work and it's going to be awesome. That was my hope. I sort of get out there, no one's calling me up. I go to a few companies and that I've had relationships, and they just no, it's just not for us. I kind of go, why not? You just get your name on my shirt, and we can do some fun together. And and more importantly, trying to win them over, get them to see the benefit of having me there, of having their brand on my shirt. It's not about me making posts. It's about them making posts about me. I think that's where the benefit. And so that €50, getting your name on getting your local business on my website. Who's going to see that website? Yeah, honestly, not many people. But that's not the point. The point where it matters is actually the impact I'm making on the streets, and it's very hard to get that across. Is I will go out And I will have these conversations with people every day. Every day, there are people cheering me, saying, great work. I'll have kids saying, banana, or cheering me along. They have a conversation with their parents. They have a conversation with someone else. I was speaking to someone the other day and they said, yeah, we were, I was in a shop having a coffee and I overheard two people talking about, hey, have you seen that banana that goes around picking up trash? That's me. So they were talking about that. Imagine if you're a company and you go, yeah, we support him. Be proud. That's where the value is. That €50 is a moment where you can say, we support him. And that conversation will happen. Imagine you're in a conversation with someone and they're saying, my son, my daughter told me about this banana. It's hilarious. And then you turn around and say, yeah, my company supports him. My company is one of his sponsors. Bang. That is a reinforcing moment for your brand, for your company. And that's why I thought these flyers would be really an easy win to get some immediate money in that I need to get me over for this next month. In the end, it's not going as quickly as I thought. Having said that, I haven't done that many flyers, but I need to change it. I'm just going to literally just put through letterboxes and see if anything happens. They always say you should learn from your mistakes. But really, is it that? Is it where you learn from your mistakes or do you learn from trying? I think you actually learn more from trying something. You can never make a mistake unless you try. You can never succeed unless you try. And you do learn from positive reactions, from positive results, from positive moments that weren't failures. You can learn from those as well. What you can't learn from is if you don't try. I think you're not learning from mistakes, you're learning from trying. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going outside my comfort zone. I'm trying to throw as many jam sandwiches at the wall and see what sticks. So at the moment, flyers, I'm going out there and doing it. And so what am I learning? I'm learning a hard reality that time is what I need. I need time to build it up. If I want to get these sponsors on my shirts, I need to work harder. I had this dream of, okay, I come back from the 2-hour Stadium Plog, the 1,500-kilometer run that I did, and it would be, right, I've made it to the 12 Stadium Plog. I've got all of this attention. I've got all of these goals achieved. I've done it, and I've got some extra sponsors. I had one person that did something during one company that did something, but just for a very small amount. I didn't get any sponsors on my shirt. And that's what I was really hoping for, is like companies would see, bang, he can do this. He can do this. And he's got other plans next year. It's not a one trick pony. He's got all these other ideas that are going to be happening. Let's support him. Let's get our name on his shirt. So I'm waffling on, and I'm not talking about, let's talk about the flyers. Before I talk about the hard reality that I've had to face and the honesty I've had to say with myself and in terms of principles, let's just talk about how the flyers have got, because it has been such an eye-opener. I'm doing something that is so far out of my comfort zone. I'm doing something that is just, running around in a banana suit, picking up trash, making an idiot of myself. Love it. As soon as I take these flyers around, I'm exposing myself to, what you're doing is useless, or just getting some sort of negative reaction. That's where my sort of insecurity comes out, and it really just sort of shows. And I am a person that is very insecure. As much as people think that it might be different, trust me, I have huge man boobs. When I run, they're like knocking me out, knocking my eyes out almost. And I never had to take these sort of good photos or good videos. It takes a lot of courage to sort of just put myself out there, to not get those knockbacks. And I think so many people are like that. There's very few people in the world that have that confidence that just kind of go, they don't fear anything along those lines. So me going out with a flyer, going into a shop cold is really so confronting. And I've had negative reactions. I've only had one really negative reaction when they just went, "Yeah, we haven't got time for this, bye." And literally would almost like if the door was open because of the heat, if the door hadn't been open, it would have been shut in my face. So I had one company that had sort of the one negative reaction, but I've been into other shops and they just they just look at me and they're just like going, "Yeah, give me the flyer." And then you just like, it's almost like a you just feel that it's a continuous action from them taking the flyer in their hand to it going in the bin. And one of the things I've said on a couple of people is just promise me you'll read it before you put it in the bin. I've actually said that to a couple of people. Or promise me you'll try and give it to your boss. And the only thing I ask is that they read it before they put it in the bin. I don't like the fact I'm giving out flyers, but I've got to try something. Unfortunately, I'm in a position where I have to do this. So I'm doing it knowing that I am leaving a footprint with an extra paper trail that's all glossy, shiny paper and everything. But I've got to do it. I've got to be honest. And so sometimes sometimes they come in there. I've been doing it in a banana suit for the last couple of days. I'll walk into a shop and then you can see that they shut down straight away. They don't find the humor in it. I've tried to sort of crack a joke and they just get more grumpy with me, or it just has actually the negative reaction I want. I have also had brilliant reactions. They see me running past and they start smiling, and I use that bang. I'm going to go in there and just hit them. Go in there, hit them. But then it comes to my pitch, and my pitch has really screwed. I've just been so bad with my pitch because how I need to work on that pitch of and sort of nail it down to, but nail it down the right way, because I start my pitch and then I kind of go, where am I taking this story down? Or you just see them glaze over, and then that just puts me in a panic mode. You see them glaze over, they go, all right, he picks up trash. Oof. Yeah, great, fantastic. Why are we going to invest in that? So they don't see the fact that my story is actually so much more about trash. It's about positive stories. Trying to get that across is really hard, and I need to work on it. And I think that's why today this afternoon I'm going to go out and I'm just going to put it in businesses' letterboxes. See if anything happens. I've got 500 of these that I need to sort of that I'll get through. I'll get through. Let's just take out 100 today, and I'll just put them through letterboxes. I'm not even going to have conversations with people unless they see me. I'm not going to do it in a banana suit. Bang. If they've seen the banana in the street, and this comes back to one of the things that, in effect, that I've been doing more with kids, or not kids, not the right one. There's been two times when I did the 12 stayed and plog, when I did this crazy 1,500 kilometer run in May. There were two times that they said, no, I'm not picking up trash. One was a young kid, the other one was a guy on a bike, but I think he was a little bit drunk, so I don't think he counts. But yeah, I said, all I ask is that you pick up one piece of trash. And this one kid just went, no, I'm not doing it. He just dropped a cigarette butt on the ground. He went, I'm not doing it. And then, and I was like, okay, how do I have a conversation with him? I decided not to have a conversation with him. And in fact, there's been a couple of other times that I've actually taken a different approach now and not engaged in conversations with people that I see have dropped litter on the ground where they're sitting. I would just go up now, what I do, in my banana suit with my grabber, and I will pick up the trash from below by their feet that they've dropped, that I know they've dropped. They know I know they've dropped. I've not said anything. I just pick it up. I just smile at them and say, hey, how's it going? And everything. And then I just move on. I just have a little smile, no confrontation at all, with the idea that they kind of go, that guy did that and he didn't confront me. Maybe next time they see me running around picking up trash, with the idea of it sticks in their head. And I'm hoping that if I just put a flyer through a door, there's going to be one or a few of those are going to be, oh, hang on, that's that banana. And then they'll read the flyer. Rather than me spending 5 minutes in a shop trying to explain to them what I am, I'd rather just give a flyer now, I think. And if someone knows me from the streets for all the 14 years I've been doing this, then it will give them the impetus to do it. And it's the same with those people on the street. Just smile at them. Hopefully It's just adding and adding and adding until it's enough for them to pay attention, for them to maybe take action, for them maybe to ask me what I'm doing. So I'm hoping that will happen. And it's, yeah, there was one brilliant one. There was a couple of really brilliant ones where they just start laughing at me. They just love it. Like I said, I've been making some stupid comments in there. I've like, as one person, one, I was just like such an idiot. I sort of gave them this flyer and I was saying, I want to give you this flyer because you were smiling. I know that your business isn't big enough to invest in me. I'm like, hang on, that's completely the wrong thing to say. I'm like, I just want to, Paul, what the hell are you saying? Anyway, but this one person was, he saw me, started laughing, I run past. First thing he did was got a phone and took a selfie. And I thought, oh, that's really cool. This is a good start. And then he went, yeah, you were at a workshop in school with my son the other day, and he's gonna love this. And it just started a brilliant conversation. I was like, that's it. It was a conversation via, and they knew about me. There was engagement. He probably doesn't have any. He's probably just working for someone in the place, but that's what I'm after. Is for people who have seen me on the streets and then they see the flyer and then from that they read. So I think I'm changing my approach now to just doing it that way. Let's see what happens. Oh, I've really waffled on. I haven't even got to the hard reality part. Oh, and before I go on, yeah, first of all, sorry I've not been doing my weekly recaps. I've been so focused on this, trying to get the website done, and it's been a really frustrating few weeks because I've had to try and get so much behind the scenes stuff done. I've been working my butt off doing it. I've got it all done now. Hopefully I can get a bit more engagement. So starting next week, I'll start up the recaps as well because I'm really enjoying them. I think they really add value and get people to see what I've done. But I've hit hard reality. I've just, before I shut down, I'm going to say I've hit hard reality. I've got these principles and now I'm having to throw them out the window. I'm having to be honest. So I think I said at the start, I hope it wasn't one of the earlier podcast recordings that I just ditched. Did I say at the start that I'm really getting to a point of rock bottom? Anyway, so next couple of weeks will be do or die for me. It really is that point, and I need to hit hard reality. I've got these principles that I've been really adamant about. I want companies to pay for me, not people. The hard reality is I need anyone or anything or anybody to give me money to help me pay for my mortgage next month. That's the reality, and it is going to take a couple of months before I think I can get some deep engagement with some companies, and I still believe that I can. I just need to get to the point where I can get them, and that's where time comes in. So the hard reality is I do need help from people. So whereas in the past I've put, yeah, reluctantly I put up the buy me a coffee page. There's a link below if you really want to sort of buy me a coffee. The reality is it will help. If you buy me a coffee, it will help. That's €5, or, and in fact I put it down as buy a banana. You can change the site to do it that way. So it will help if you do that. You know, every penny is going to help. I would rather it come from a company, but if it means I can get to next month, I don't mind where it comes from. That's the hard truth is I need to get money flowing in. So the hard reality is that I have to be honest with myself and say, put myself out there saying it's all about positive stories, but I can only do these positive stories if I can pay for my mortgage. So I have to be more honest and say, and literally turn my pamphlets into two. If you're an individual, here's how you can support me. If you're a company, here's how you can support me. I need to sort of put that hard reality out there and say, that's it. I also need to have the hard reality to say, I'm struggling. I have to sort of go and say, these are positive stories, but I can only do this if I need to sort of try and find a right balance where the positive story is at the front, but people know that I'm struggling to continue to do this. But let's be, I feel like I'm just trying to undermine everything I'm saying because I just wanted to say straight away. But regardless, even if I fail, I'll still be picking up trash for the rest of my life and making stories about it. I need to make people aware of how much I'm struggling while I'm doing these positive stories, and that's a hard reality. And the other one is principles. There's there are strong principles I have. I'm really kind of open to being supported by anyone, any company, any brand. I really want that. For me, it's not greenwashing because someone will always say that, and yes, there is an element of there. If they sort of sponsor me, then there is that element. But screw it. That company, that might be the worst company in the world, but if they're funding me to do this, I love them. As you can see, my mind is a bit trash because my mind is trash. I need to pick it up. I'm still positive that this will work, but it has to work. It's just too important for it not to work. It can't be just down to the fact that I've literally got the face for radio and I've got the voice for silent movies. It can't be just down to those two reasons why it's not working. I have to find that magic source and find what works and make it work. I will do it. I'm just waffling now. It's an honest waffle. You definitely get the unfiltered way of life. And that's my little segue of hope you found this inspiring. This is my way of life. Bye. Thank you for listening. Next week I'll try and get the recaps going again, and I'll keep you posted in the podcast about how it's going. My name is Paul. This is my way of life, and I really hope it carries on being my way of life because it's just too important, right? We need positive stories. Speak to you next week. Bye.